I'm going to be tying the Master Splinter. This is a small mouse pattern. I've scaled it down using a Dairiki 280 size 8 hook, working to try and scale this down so it will cast well on Tenkara rods. We'll be using some micro squirrel strips for the fur. This is a dark brown color. Also be using some craft foam. This is a 2mm foam, cut to be about 3/8 of an inch wide, a little wider than the hook gap here. I want a good floating body there. And I'll be tying with Danville's 3/0. This is a wax thread in a light tan color. So to get started, we'll just tie in our thread here and work that back towards the bend of the hook. Clip the tag here. And I'm going to take that just where the bend of the hook starts, right about there. We'll get a piece of that micro squirrel strip. This is a piece that is about 1.5 times the length of the hook shank, and I've stripped the fur off all but this last little tuft at the tail. It's about 1/4 of the length of my strip I've created here. And to start off with, we'll just get this tied in right on the top of the hook. I want that to be fairly centered and lay nice and straight off the end of the hook here. Get that tied in. So now we've got our tail to our mouse. Next we'll take a piece of our craft foam here, and I'm going to take and taper back a section of this with my scissors. And then with a little bit of super glue, just on this last little bit, just to help secure that on top of the hook. I want to keep that off of that strip of squirrel, but get that secured right on top here. And I'm going to take that again back towards the bend, right to the end of where my strip of squirrel leather there starts, and get that set. Next we'll take a full-length piece of our squirrel, and again I'm going to strip a little bit of this off to expose some of that leather on the tip, and that'll give me something to tie in with. So get this tied in right there on top again, and I'm going to bring that back pretty much right to where the foam starts. And then I'm going to bring my thread back up to the eye of the hook here. So now with my squirrel strip here, we're just going to start doing wrapping turns, and I'm going to stroke that fur back towards the back of the fly with each turn, so that I try not to pin any of those nice fibers of fur underneath the next wrap. I want to keep as much of that all puffed out as possible. And just wrapping turns as we go back or go forward. Again, just trying to get all that fur nice and fluffed out as possible. Nice furry body to our mouse here. Okay, now that I'm at the front of the fly here, we'll take, again, try and get as much of those pulled back as possible and tie in our strip of fur. separate. A couple of good tight turns there. Get that tied in, and then we can clip off the rest of our strip of fur. Alright, now at this point, we're going to take and separate that fur right down the top of the hook. Try and get that towards the middle here. And we're just going to work to lay that fur down off of each side and move it away from the foam here at the back. We'll bring our foam forward, get the fur underneath, hold back, and we're going to get a couple of good turns here on them. That. Start with a kind of loose turn, kind of get our foam situated, get our wraps even, and then another turn, and we'll pull that down a little bit tighter. Get that foam in place. Then we're going to lay that over and create kind of our head to our mouse here by kind of pinching that forward. We don't want to go too far. We'll just create a little bit of a head. This should come forward of the eye on the hook just slightly. And then we'll take, again, a fairly loose turn here. And then a little tighter turn. Get a couple in here. Alright. Get that situated. Get a couple good securing turns there. Now what we're going to do, I'm going to get ready to whip finish this fly. I'm going to take a little bit of that fur that I stripped off of the tail here, and we're going to dub that onto our thread. We're going to take that, wrap that in place. Couple light turns there. And then we'll get our whip finish tool out and put a couple turns in. Break our thread off. Now we're ready to clip the excess here. I'm going to use one finger, kind of my thumb here, to push down on the foam, pull it back, clip that off. And now I'm going to come in and right at the center of that collar, I'm going to clip that in half. So what that will do is that gives us the ears on our mouse. We got his tail, and a nice foam head, and a couple of nice ears that stick up. So that there's the Master Splinter, the small mouse pattern. Float real well. It's got a lot of foam on that body. And should be a fun little pattern to fish. Hope that helps with another new pattern to try out. This is Paul at Arrowhead Equipment. Definitely holler if you have any questions. Thanks for watching.